Hey, this is John Hobgood, and this is my assessment fair video. And I am going to be, talking about an assessment used for interpersonal dependency inventory, or interpersonal dependency. This is thoughts, behaviors, and feelings revolving around the need to associate closely with valued people. So essentially, somebody who would score high on this inventory would be needy, clingy, somebody maybe who is emotionally dependent on somebody else. And the particular inventory I'm using is the IDI, the Interpersonal Dependency Inventory. And the authors are Hirschfield, Klerman, Gao, Barrett, Korchin, and Chodoff. And I believe that this has been around for a while, since 1977, and it is published by the Journal of Personality Assessments. And this is a 48 item inventory, the IDI, and it's a 4, 3, 2, 1, that thing where you have like the 4 would be very characteristic of me, the 1 would be not characteristic of me at all. There are 3 subscales to this particular inventory, and the first one is emotional reliance, so you rely on somebody emotionally. The second would be lack of self-confidence, which would certainly be something, somebody who scores high in this would have little self-confidence, possibly. And the assertion of autonomy. And the assertion for autonomy, of course, is on a different scale, whereas the other ones are 4 through 1. These would be, 1 through 4, just to kind of make them match up better. The norms that were used for this particular, for the research on this, were college students was one group, and psychiatric patients was another, and community members was another. So 3 different groups, more white than non-white, and certainly in this case more women than non-women. The reliability for this is pretty good. It's 0.72 through 0.91, and although there is a way that you can score it as of a mean of 50, but that's like a more complicated way. Normally what you would do is you would just add up the numbers for the 3 subscales in this. The validity correlates well with neuroticism, for anxiety, for depression, so all those things are correlated well. And it's available, this inventory is available through the publisher. You can email or by mail. As far as alternate inventories for this particular topic, this seems to be the main one. This is the one that is it's referenced by a whole lot of the literature out there. Like I said, it's been around for a long time. It's one that it seems like that people have been using for a very long time. It seems to be well thought of. A lot of people write about it in their research. There is what's called the relationship profile test, and one of the subscales on that, not the whole thing, but one of the subscales measures healthy development, or rather healthy dependence. And whereas the IDI seems to gear more towards negative dependence, this is more healthy dependence, like you're in a relationship. And this is something that was actually a criticism of the IDI, that it seemed to be more negative focus. So this other one might be a response to that. There was in 2017 a group that formed a 6-question version of this scale. I'm sorry, 2015 of the IDI. So instead of 48, it's 6 questions. It's meant to be used in brief therapy and everything. I'm not sure if they actually made it or not, but it was something that's proposed, and they when they were writing about it, they said that it would be something that had pretty high validity. And as far as my personal thoughts on this is that I think that this is very thorough. That if somebody had this particular personality quirk or whatever, that that this assessment did a really good job of kind of weeding that out. That it talks about you ask questions about can you make a decision on your by yourself, just kind of in different ways it asks that question.